Kingdom Hall.
Hi, I just have a quick question I was wondering if someone could help me with.
Okay.
Do you have a minute?
Yeah. What is this about?
Oh, okay. Well, I have a friend who's a Jehovah Witness, and I was just a little worried because he has like one of those blood cards. You know, I see occasionally in the news someone dying from not getting a blood transfusion that they needed. And I was just reading some different things about it online, different points and the history of it and everything like that. And really, one question comes up into my mind is like, why is it like wrong to like donate blood?
It's a Bible command. If you look in the scriptures in Acts chapter 5, I believe it's 29 there, to abstain from blood is it's a direct command from God, because the life is in the blood, and it's sanctified. From that standpoint, it's a precious thing, the blood. Matter of fact, when Jesus gave up his life, he had to shed blood in order for that sacrifice to be applicable. So there's when the scriptures say that we are to abstain from blood, back then they didn't do blood transfusions, they didn't donate blood. So abstaining from blood meant to ingest it in any way, shape, or form. And so that was because of the sanctity of the blood. So as Christians, we believe that following Christ's command there to do that is important. It's part of our integrity to God, and we don't compromise that, regardless of whether our life is in jeopardy or not, because we believe we have a firm belief in a resurrection, and that if we did not take blood and we were to die because of abstaining from it, God would keep us in his memory, and he would, in the resurrection, he would bring us back to life, as the Bible speaks about. Now, there's a website that we have. I don't know if you've ever been on it.
Oh, yeah. That's partly where I've been researching what is the basis of this view. But I was asking, donating blood isn't really ingesting it in any form. And now that you all accept many fractions, actually most of them, let me just give you one example. There's albumin, which is for burn treatments. And to get a typical treatment, if you have a bad burn, that required 45 liters of blood to make. Now, you can imagine that all those people donated blood for you. And, it just seems kind of sad that you all don't contribute. Now, say hemophilia factor, which is for hemophiliacs, someone researched it and said that to make the amount that Jehovah's Witnesses use each year requires 250,000 blood donations.
Well, if you're talking about blood fractions, that it actually is.
That's how much people get. That's how many donations of blood
right,
people give for you all who don't contribute anything. Okay.
Right, but it is a matter of conscience whether or not you take fractions.
Right. It was so nice that they changed that, because they used to teach that Jehovah was against blood fractions.
Well, it wasn't that he was against it.
Yeah, it's that your literature says that. The older literature says that.
Yeah, but
it does say that.
Again, we have new literature that.
Yeah, but don't refine. You were redefining what they said. They said Jehovah was against it. All blood.
Okay,
that would
I'm not
include
anything. We take our direction directly from God, and that's not
right.
I don't change that at all.
Your literature said that. Yeah.
But each person
you were redefining. Yeah.
Okay, can I just interject
here?
Yeah,
go ahead.
We carry those medical directive cards because each person's conscience allows them or disallows them to do certain procedures, like cell salvaging and, we don't believe per se in taking blood out of the body, storing it for a later time, and then re-injecting it back in. But however, we do believe that some processes create a complete circuit where the blood never leaves the body. Okay, and it cleans it and puts it back in for volume's sake. Okay, and that's not taking in blood because it never leaves. But they do have a machine that cleans it up and like it's called cell salvage.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
All of that is that's why each person fills out their own card and they state what and they will not accept as medical treatment for that.
Right.
See,
but they're not allowed to take 4 fractions. That's proscribed by Jehovah, according to the literature. But all the fractions were prohibited by Jehovah, as they said, in previous years. So I was wondering, how did you guys know that he changed his view on it?
Well, he doesn't change. Okay.
Oh, I see.
It's our understanding of it. It's not so much what he said, abstain from blood.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing as if you were to have given the command to not take alcohol into your system. That means you can't drink alcohol. You can't inject it into your system through a needle.
I guess what I was asking is not about that. It's how did you know? How did the writers of the literature know that Jehovah changed his mind about blood fractions? Because they present their literature as coming from Jehovah through the faithful slave. Correct. And they did teach that. Do you need the references on that where they said that dogmatically?
No, I don't.
And you would be disfellowshipped for it starting in 1961.
Yeah, and if you go back, I'm sure there are adjustments in the thinking, and there's adjustments in technology, too.
Adjustments is not to teaching the total opposite. I mean, that's a nice word that they have taught you guys. It sounds so adjustment, like adjusting your heater, just a little tweak. No, that's teaching the total opposite. Do you think some of the children on that Awake magazine died because they needed fractions? I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, see, then again, who determines the need for that? See, there's no guarantee, and there is no doctor that will guarantee that if you take a blood transfusion, you're going to survive.
But they will guarantee that people have died from refusing it, and you can read a lot. Yes, they do. Yes, when you're bleeding to death in an accident, when you had childbirth and you're hemorrhaging. I mean,
you're talking about blood volume, and not so much the. Because more people have died from taking blood transfusions than those who don't take blood transfusions for their religious
Yes,
beliefs.
Do you know that they have taught a lot of false medical information? One woman who was a lawyer wrote this. You should read it. It's really interesting. It's called Jehovah's Witnesses, Blood and the Tort of Misrepresentation, because they've misquoted, given you guys information like what you just said. And she said they could be liable to a class action lawsuit because they're not experts in that field, and they shouldn't be telling people these details about medical things and wrongly to control them.
You got to understand one thing. Everyone has a choice as to what medical treatments they receive.
No, they don't. In the history of the Watchtower, they're not allowed to take a full blood transfusion or...
No, I'm talking about in the medical field. Okay, if you have cancer and you're told that you needed radiation or chemo and you didn't take it, they're not going to come down on you and say, well, you're just willing to die then. You see, you have a choice.
Well, you guys don't, though, because I don't believe in some channel of God, like, telling me different things about medical treatments over the years. Like, they used to forbid organ transplants and said Jehovah was against those. How can you believe this?
There are hospitals and doctors
Excuse me, do you want
transplants without blood?
No. I don't mean because of blood. I mean because of organ transplants. It's pure and simple.
No, that's not true. I know personally.
No. You're not. I'm talking about in their history that they dictated that organ transplants were forbidden at a certain time. Vaccinations were forbidden. See, they have changed things on that and damaged people's lives.
Let me ask you something. Are you trying to find out this information because you're interested in becoming a witness?
Oh,
or
no.
You just want to argue with us?
Not. I just wanted to ask you why you don't donate.
I'm going to hang up, and you have a good day.
I was shocked by how much... Hello. Oh, hi. I just have a quick question I was wondering if someone could help me with.
Sure. What can we do for you?
Well, I was reading on the website because I was concerned about a friend of mine who was a witness about the blood doctrine or rules or whatever, and I was just wondering, like, why are you guys not allowed to even donate blood?
It's a very interesting question, and we'd be happy to explain the religious belief about that. But what would you prefer to do? Would you like to? We can either make an appointment, and we could perhaps have this discussion over the phone, or what would you be more comfortable with?
Oh, I mean, you know all their views. Do you have a quick, I just wanted a quick answer. I'm in a forum where we discuss about different views and religions. I just wanted to know so I can give an accurate, explanation. Is there a Bible verse about donating blood, or what is
Absolutely.
there is
And
about
then
donating blood?
Sure. I can either send you some links with some information on it, or we can have this conversation right now if you like.
Yeah. I just want to know why you guys can't donate blood either, because that wouldn't be taking in blood or whatever it is.
Yeah. If you can just hold on one second,
sure.
I'm just going to transfer you to the appropriate personnel. 1 second, please.
Oh, thank you.
Hello.
Hi. Did he tell you what my question was?
Why Jehovah's Witnesses don't accept blood transfusions?
No. Why they're not even allowed to donate blood?
Well, it's probably for the same reason that we don't accept blood. We feel that that is a violation of God's law, and so then if we were to give blood, then we would be contributing to someone else violating God's law.
Well, don't you, when you accept blood fractions, didn't somebody violate God's law to give the tons of blood that required for some blood fractions?
Well, blood.
Where do you think they come from? You think just fractions come out of their veins, or did they donate blood that then processed, but they donated, and you guys accept those fractions that someone else donated, so you're contributing to their sins, aren't you?
Well, we have no way of knowing how blood is to be used. Normally, whole blood is transfused. And so when you donate blood, you have no idea how it's going to be used. Whole blood transfusion is condemned in the Bible.
And fractions aren't condemned in the Bible? And
well,
how do you know, what Bible verse tells you what fractions you can accept or can't accept? I find this very mystifying personally.
Well, yes. Well, let's say that you were to understand that apple pie is wrong to eat. Let's just use that as an example.
Uh-huh.
Well, now, would you eat some cinnamon? That's a fraction of the apple pie.
Yeah, I was asking, is there any scripture that talks about this kind of justification? Let me just give you one example. White blood cells are transferred from mothers to nursing babies.
Right, through the placenta.
No, when they're breastfeeding, the white blood cells the baby takes them in. It's in the milk, the breast milk. So, is that wrong? To be consistent.
Well, would it be wrong for a mother not to feed her baby? Of course that would be wrong.
But she's giving the baby white blood cells from her blood, essentially. Well, anyways, I just think it's so amazing that all the blood fractions that you all use from tons of donations, some of them require many donations of blood just to get enough for it to really, be possible. Jesus gave his blood for us, didn't he?
Well, of course, he's our Savior. We're Christians.
Yeah, that's amazing to me. You're just using all the blood that other people give, and you guys can't even...
No, we're not using all the blood that other people give.
For fractions. Where do you think they come from?
Well, the blood fractions would come from donated blood.
Right.
But
that's so nice that those people don't have those rules that you do, isn't it?
Well, not everybody adheres to the same maybe biblical standards that we do.
What is the
But
Bible
many of
verse
the-
that tells you what portions of blood that you can have?
Well, you know as well as I do that there isn't.
Right.
But many of Jehovah's Witnesses do not even take blood fractions.
Wow, which is really sad if they would die for that. And, they weren't allowed
Well,
to for many years. They said it was
that is-
Jehovah's will that you don't take blood fractions. Do you realize the older publications taught that?
Well, then you're familiar with our publications.
Yeah,
then.
yeah. What do you think about them teaching that Jehovah used to be against blood fractions and has now changed his mind? How does that work?
Well, I'm not familiar with that at all, that blood fractions were at one time condemned.
For a long time.
Oh.
That was just a recent change that they allowed them at all. Would you
Well,
like to send me to send you the references?
I've been associated with Jehovah's Witnesses for over 50 years.
Oh, then maybe you just...
All during my lifetime associated with Jehovah's Witnesses, never was blood fractions condemned.
Oh, yeah, it was until they made that change. I think it was around in the year 2000 or something like that. They changed
2000?
it. Yeah,
No,
somewhere around there.
No, you're misinformed.
Could I send you the references from the literature on the website about that?
Well, I'm familiar with the work of Jehovah's Witnesses, and no, I would not really want to entertain that. However, I would be glad to send you some additional information.
Well, I just want you to have accurate knowledge about that they did teach that in the past. You're saying they didn't, so I'd really like to show you that they certainly did.
Well, I can research that myself.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, it's really interesting. I hope you can find the links maybe by using keywords, fractions, or... I mean, they did mention it.
You sound like you're familiar with our website.
Oh, yeah, lots of witnesses recommend it to me. So, yeah, I do like to do research on the website.
Well, good.
Yeah. So I hope that you'll look into it, too. They definitely did teach that. It's a shame all those children on the Awake magazine that died. They called them, they died for Jehovah because they wouldn't take blood. I wonder if they could have been saved with blood fractions, which were not acceptable at that time in Jehovah's Witnesses.
And you're saying that this time period was around the year 2000.
Yeah, if I'm remembering that right. Yeah, somewhere around there.
No, I'm afraid that is incorrect here.
Okay. Well, thanks for your help. I just wanted to get your thought on it.
Well, you're most welcome, but
Thanks.
I would be very happy to send you some additional information.
Well, it's all on the website, I think.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, except now if you want to research the teachings, before, like 1950, I think the website goes back to about 1950 with watchtowers. I guess then you'd have to, find it somewhere else. So it is limited. There's some things you can't see on there. But, so I like to look at archives. You can see older ones on sites like archive.org. And things like that. I'm sure you probably have them in your library anyway. Hopefully they still have the older ones.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
We have a very extensive library.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you for your call.
Okay, thanks for your help. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.